Video games can fail for multiple reasons, despite developers' and publishers' promises. Sometimes, the required quality goes missing, while it might be a poor management decision in other cases. Improper updates and too much tinkering also result in subpar results. However, games can also make a comeback, and there have been some great examples. The next 5 names have either been poor at launch or have worsened over time. There's still hope for them, as a brilliant patch of constant work from developers could help solve the issues that have primarily led to poor results. Top 5 video games that could improve and regain faith in 2022. 5. Battlefield 2042. Developers, DICE. Battlefield 2042 arguably has the slightest chance of all the names coming back, as many things have gone wrong. The lofty promises were never delivered, and players realized that the game barely had any quality. This has led to large-scale protests and petitions where more than 200,000 people have signed asking for a refund. Its lows have continued to new depths as the game's concurrent player base has plummeted to less than 1,000 players on Steam. DICE hasn't officially given up on the game despite all the negatives. The only ray of hope for Battlefield 2042 will be a blockbuster Season 1, which was delayed at the start of 2022. Going free to play or entering EA Play and Xbox Game Pass could help improve its player count. Things don't look too hopeful, but there is a chance for the latest video game from the Battlefield series to make a comeback. 4. Dungeons & Dragons, Dark Alliance. Developers, Tuque Games. Having the weightage of a mega franchise can often be disastrous if a video game doesn't meet quality. This is the problem that Dungeons & Dragons, Dark Alliance has suffered from. The game garnered a lot of hype in 2019 when it was revealed. Following its release in June 2021, the reception was very lukewarm. While there were some positives, the overall experience was less than optimal. Strangely, the difficulty levels have made the solo experience extremely avoidable. Tuque Games accepted the negative feedback and have already made several improvements. They have also announced more work that will be done to improve the overall gameplay. As things stand, Dungeons & Dragons, Dark Alliance could be a strong contender for a video game comeback in 2022. 3. Back 4 Blood. Developers, Turtle Rock. Since the inception of Left 4 Dead 2, there has been a kind of vacancy in the field, with Back 4 Blood being the latest to try and dominate the space. Co-op-based zombie video games are very much a thing, and Turtle Rock could be used to their advantage. Sadly, the quality of their game wasn't good enough, which failed to impress many. Many had high hopes from the studio that made the original Left 4 Dead series. Some exciting elements make the game quite exciting to play. Major negatives include the overall difficulty, especially in solo modes. There were also complaints about the available modes, with many stating that the developers should have listened to them. Thankfully, Turtle Rock has kept improving their game with a massive patch released very recently. If Back 4 Blood can make a comeback, it could be excellent news for many game lovers. 2. Halo Infinite. Developers, 343 Studios. Halo Infinite is arguably one of the biggest video game releases of 2021. It finally arrived after a year-long delay, and the initial reception was tremendous. The game's multiplayer is entirely free to play, which brought many first-time players. However, the cracks have appeared over time, and the content has been a major gray area. Many fans have complained that it isn't enough to retain their interest. The campaign still lacks a co-op, which has been another significant negative. 343 Industries has been slow to get on track with the complaints, but they have promised to improve the game. Season 2, despite the delay, has been announced with new game modes and content. Halo Infinite can regain the players it has lost with a strong comeback. However, the task won't be straightforward, and 343 Industries will have to ensure that the improvements will retain the player base who arrive with the new season. 1. Football. Developers, Konami. If any video game series reboot can go wrong, it's eFootball, known initially as Pro Evolution Soccer or PES. Ambition is good, but over-ambition isn't, which was the case with the original release. Konami's plans to go full crossplay between mobile and console proved very troublesome, and eFootball launched in a terrible state. On April 14, eFootball's 1.0.0 version was released, which breathed in new life. Konami has spent months rectifying the game, and the efforts show. However, that doesn't mean that eFootball is in a perfect state right now, and more work is left to be done. Konami will have to punch above its weight if it wants to regain lost ground and compete against FIFA 22. However, with a radical overhaul of its earlier poor state, the chances of making a comeback are statistically the highest.